Welcome to the Succeed with Software podcast, brought to you by SuiteDash. Today's episode is from one of the bi-weekly Q&A webinars. To participate live, just follow the link in the description to sign up and submit your questions. Be sure that you're subscribed on YouTube and following us on all social media to get the latest videos and updates about new and existing features. All right, so let's get started. Hello, everyone. This is Mike. I am the founder and CEO of SuiteDash. I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to the Q&A webinars, Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so let's get everybody to jump into the chat and say hi. Let us know where you're from. That'll let me know that you can hear my voice and that we're ready to start. All right, so find the chat in Zoom there and let me know. Let me make sure that I've enabled it. Yeah, looks good. Let's turn it on so everybody can see. Hi, Jasmine from Florida. How are you? Summer's almost over, Jasmine. Tourist season starts again soon. Hi, Rosie from Dallas. All these really hot places, Florida and Dallas, Arizona. You guys, I hope you guys are near a pool somewhere this time of year. That's for sure. All right, well, good to see everyone. TJ, Beverly, Rosie, Jasmine, a few others are here. I'm sure everybody will jump in as they can. I do have some questions that you guys have submitted ahead of time. Before we get to those or start just finding our way today. Also, while I'm doing this next part, just let me know what niche you guys are in so that we can kind of direct the conversation as we go. But for those of you who are just starting with SuiteDash or are just are curious, the best advice is to start a free trial. Start a free trial will get you inside the platform, get you starting to click around. You may feel overwhelmed at first. That is normal. That is the product of having something as powerful and flexible as SuiteDash. It's not a niche specific platform. It has all kinds of generic and flexible tools that can be applied to your workflows. So you're going to need to know what your workflows are, or you're going to need to define those and start to put these things together in the way that it works for you. And that is not always apparent, which is the reason for these types of sessions where we can all just discuss. You can drop your questions and we'll see if we can turn on a few light bulbs. You can come back as many times as you'd like. The long-term rewards are more than worth it. Okay, so this goes along with, it's not just SuiteDash, it goes along with any efforts towards systematizing your business, creating processes. Automations, of course, are extremely good. These will all require work to be customized to your business. They're not going to fall into place for you. And I think you guys know that. I'm not preaching to you, but SuiteDash is not the kind of software that's just going to, turn on like an easy button and start working for you. It's much more powerful than that. It'll take your interaction. But what I can say, and what I have seen over and over and over again, is the payoff is more than worth it. All right. So Rosie in accounting, tax prep, Beverly, real estate. That's interesting. I would like to explore that with you, Beverly, and TJ, Doc Lock, real estate. Okay. All right. So let me look a little bit at the questions and make sure that we can just start with people that are here. I do see Rosie is here and has a question. Rosie says she has an accounting firm and is a coach. And the question is, am I able to build a CRM and white label it for tax business owners? Yes, Rosie, but let me explain. Okay. Not with just a single account. So you can't take one account. And let's look here. I have one branded account that's right down the line of what you're talking about for accounting. Let's get logged in here, I guess. Okay, so not with one single account, Rosie. And what I mean is you can't take one account and allow it to be the account to cover multiple business owners. SuiteDash is a two-sided traditional business relationship software where you have the business on one side and the customers or clients of that business on the other side. Okay. So what it doesn't give you in one single account is the ability to offer a solution to multiple other businesses. However, okay, that's my first part. The second part is if you will go to our website, SuiteDash.com, and look under reseller program, this is exactly what you're looking for, Rosie. So the reseller program allows you to become a wholesale reseller of the software of the platform. And there's a lot of text here, but I would encourage you, after you're reading this, please read this video that I put together last year at some point. And this video will do a really great job of explaining how the reseller program works, the concepts behind it, and the possibilities that are there. And so what you can do is become an official reseller. It's not a difficult bar to reach. Just a simple application. There's no fee for it. It doesn't cost anything. And then you're able to white label sub accounts as you describe in your question for tax business owners. So what's additionally valuable, and I'll do my best not to recount everything in this video, but we have what are called reseller profiles. And what it will allow you to do is include a lot of value add in the product that you are offering. So not just the platform, because of course they could just get that from us if they found us through whatever channels. But if you become a reseller and you come up with your own brand, or however, or you become a consultant or a coach, you're already a coach, you can. We even have coaches that include a free SuiteDash account with all of their coaching packages, and then use SuiteDash as their tool of choice to do this, and they do it through the reseller program. And so what I'm getting at is you can create a lot of themes, a lot of templates, things like this, and then as you create each new reseller child account, you can specify which of those templates get passed in to that account in case you're doing packages or something like that. Suddenly now that account is not only a platform full of white label tools that they can use in their business, but also all the content that you provided for them that is niche specific, that makes their job easier, that shortcuts them. And that way you become more valuable. Your platform is more valuable to your niche than it is coming from us, because ours doesn't have all that all that niche specific build out of content, themes, etc. You're able to do it because you understand the niche completely and you understand the needs completely. Yes, TJ. So let me show you here. And so when you create that reseller dashboard, so when you create that sub account, it will already have all of those things included in it. And so therefore you have a really good value proposition to those people. And here's the thing, you're paying us a wholesale price for each account, but you can charge them whatever you'd like. And the more value that you add to the account, the more you can ask. And we don't even really care what you charge on your side. You charge your people however you want to charge them, as long as we get it's just like a wholesale retail arrangement except there's no manufacturer suggested retail price, as they say. When it comes out to you pay the wholesale price, and then you mark it up however you'd like, add things to it as far as templates and those things. TJ, let me show you. Here's reseller profiles. TJ's asking, so the reseller accounts are connected to the account. Yes. Reseller profiles, these collect all the available templates that you can create in the account. And when you create a new customer, it will ask you what reseller profile you would like to add to it. So these are packages of templates, smaller of things like form templates and email marketing templates and things like that. We're not at the place yet, although we do intend to get there at some point, where you would be able to create like an entire where you're cloning an account. I think that's what you're after, is where you're cloning an account into another account. So it's not quite like that. It's a little, in some ways, I could argue that it's more flexible than that. It's better than that in the sense that you could say, okay, this person's going to be on a basic plan. I'm going to put them on Pinnacle, all this. You can have in your account a demo account. You can create a demo account that you can show your prospective reseller customers and sort of demo everything to them. And then you can also have set up free trials where you can start a free trial and start setting up for that customer. And then when they say, yeah, this is really what I want, then you sort of upgrade them then. So we do everything we can, and we're adding to this all the time. There's a whole nother planned iteration sprint for the reseller program. So as the reseller program grows, and it's grown hugely in the past, say, 18 months, we'll continue to invest resources there and listen to the reseller community and provide what they're asking for. So the next step in this, just while I'm here, I will do my best to jump through this quickly and get to the other questions. But the next step here will be the ability for you to create like a landing page and offer reseller child accounts in a very streamlined, one click, one pay, all in one place funnel, so that you can offer you create your offers, put them out on a public landing page that the the prospect can click, select, pay, be delivered, receive a welcome email, all without you being anywhere near the process. And this will take on the branding that you specify, the reseller profiles that you specify, all of it sort of pre-configured so that your offer can be out there and working for you 24/7. It started and is still sort of in the place where the reseller program, where you work more hand in hand with a reseller child, typically through an agency or a coaching relationship or something like that, consulting relationship, so that you are talking to them and creating the relationship, finding out what their needs are, then helping them set up. The advantage also here, just to be clear, is that you can always impersonate the child accounts. So you are always the super admin. In any case that they need help, you can say, is it okay if I just jump in your account and I'll help you take care of it? Yeah, sure. So then you just boom, impersonate, just like you're impersonating a client or staff member in the platform, and you are suddenly inside their account as the super admin, and you can do make whatever changes you need there and help them out, and then jump back out. Especially someone like Rosie, who's a coach, that's a perfect relationship there. Okay. Let me draw a line there. I could go on. A lot of great opportunities there, so I can get a little bit fired up there. So, all right, Rosie, that's good. I see Ryan had a question. I don't see Ryan. Beverly had a question. I do see Beverly. Let's jump to Beverly. Beverly, you here? TJ says, as a reseller, is it My Label or SuiteDash? It can be either one, TJ, but 99% of people will create your own brand, your own logo, your own offering. Yeah. So, hi, Beverly. Okay. So Beverly is in real estate. Let's talk about it, because I am interested in how we can. I'm interested in all niches. But as Beverly knows, real estate's kind of a big one, because we all need a place to put our heads down at night. And hopefully we can find more and more ways to work in that niche and be helpful. I know there are a pretty large number of customers in the real estate niche, but it's not something that the platform is designed perfectly for. Maybe I'm wanting to understand the needs more and more every day. So okay, so let's go to Beverly's questions. How do I connect the portal to a GoDaddy website? Good question, Beverly. Okay, so to answer that, let me just bring up a website here, and GoDaddy website. Any kind of website will work. Okay. So this is just a demo website, everyone. Please don't go here and ask Max for help. He can't help you. He's not a real person. But what you can do from any website is just link directly to your login page. And that's what most people do, Beverly, is they'll include a link like client login and maybe open in a new tab. So they'll just hard code this to go to this URL, portal.madmax.studio. And your website is at madmax.studio. So however it works in your case. Now, you didn't ask about it, but we do have a WordPress plugin. If you have a WordPress website, the plugin will enable this kind of functionality on your website so that instead of linking in a new tab to the login for the portal, it will pop this little dialog here, and you can log in here, and it will reload this page directly inside the platform. But that's basically it, Beverly. I mean, your GoDaddy website is what I would call a brochure site, meaning it doesn't have any, I'm a little familiar with what they offer. It doesn't have a user model. It doesn't have much like that. It has, unless they've changed. It's just HTML. It's just a website like a brochure. So to get functionality like what we call a user model, a login here, where you'll be able to, depending on who logs in, will show what that person needs to see, just sort of like Facebook. I'm going to log in as a super admin now. And you'll see that I get every bit of the functionality, all the menu items. I have, updates like this that show only to super admin. For those of you who are wondering about this sort of semi-funky font, this is just a configuration of Google fonts that are available. This one has been used for some testing, where in platform branding, you can set up your own fonts here in font themes. So this is the one that's set up. You can easily change this to anything you'd like, and you'll see it changes directly in the preview. So you can make it whatever you'd like. I think there's something like 800 choices there, so you should be able to find something that you like. So I think that answers your first question, Beverly. And what you could also do, Beverly, sometimes people will use custom menus. So let's go to custom menus just to kind of build out a little bit of extra when you say connect the portal to a GoDaddy website. What you could do is create a new menu item, and you can call this whatever you want, but you could say Beverly Home, RE Home, or you could just call it website or whatever you want. And we'll just use Google as the sort of standard example. Let's make an icon. I don't know. Let's use a sailboat. Why don't we? And we'll say open a new tab and click add. And now you'll see that. See, that's down here. And if you scroll down, you'll actually see it right here. You can drag it up to the top. And that's it. It's ready. So now you can make this available only to your staff members, for example. You could say, well, I don't want to show that to clients or prospects. You just turn it off. Or you can turn it on for clients and prospects. Or you can even limit the menu item to people within certain circles, which is a grouping mechanism. So in this way, when I click here, I'm going to open your website in a new browser, or a new tab, excuse me. So in summary, you could link your website to the login. So then they'll have the platform immediately available to them. And then from here, let me refresh. The new tab. From here, they could click right back to your website here. Does that kind of close the loop there, Beverly? Covers what you're after? And I'll start on the next question. Where should files shared with all prospects or clients originate, and how to share with all prospects and clients? Good questions. All right. So our file sharing mechanism is here in the Files Toolkit, Beverly. It somewhat depends on how you need to share. If you need to share with contacts or companies, you're probably going to be dealing with contacts. In the real estate industry, you're dealing with individuals 90% of the time, unless you're in commercial. So let's just go that direction. So let's just say we're going to be dealing with contacts, which are individuals, not companies. And inside of contacts, you'll see a list of every contact in the system. Okay, and inside of that, you're going to see these 4 default folders and the specific contact in this way. Okay, I got to turn this italics off. Drive me crazy. So you can share specifically with one single contact in a very secure way. Okay, and that's easy to find. Just navigate through and take care of that. Let's turn this to, let's not fool around here. We'll just go back to the default here. There we go. Okay. Okay, so that's how you can share with a specific prospect or client. But when you say all prospects and clients, the other way to do that is through what we call shared folders. Okay. So you see here, new shared folder. If I click new shared folder, I'm going to create a new shared folder. And then I can select what users I want to share with. And here I could say there's all clients is a circle. There's all clients and prospects. These are default circles that exist everywhere. So in case you want to share something with all your clients or all your clients and prospects, you can do that simply by adding them to this default circle of all clients. And when this happens, they will see that on their side. They will see that they have access to that folder, and that's it. It's really pretty simple. There are other ways, but this is the primary way. We are close to releasing what we call, yes, TJ, in this case, it does. In this case, it does. Yep, it's really simple. I mean, as soon as you understand the circles, and I think probably you guys do, maybe you're asking the right questions, so I'm thinking that you get it. Think about circles like wristbands at a conference, okay? So if you get, well, TJ, you missed the first part. It's not private, not in that way. No, but imagine that if you wanted to share a PDF, a learning PDF or something like that with all of your clients. Yeah, of course, it's not private. But the first one I showed is the direction that it will be private. When you see here, you're selecting an individual person and you're shared with the contact. Now you put something in here, only this client will see it. No one else ever, no way. So 100% private. Yeah. And there's an in-between. Okay. So what I've showed you is individual all the way down to the single person. And on the other side, all clients and prospects. But you know what's so cool is you can go create a circle. Circles are like these wristbands I'm describing. They get you through checkpoints. You can have 1, you can have 5. The person at the checkpoint is going to look at your wristbands and say, are you allowed to go into this area? And if you have the right wristband or wristband combination, then they're going to say yes. If you don't, it's a no. So let's look here. Let's call it paid traffic clients. That's the one we'll focus on, okay? Paid traffic clients is a circle. Yes, Beverly, I'll get to that in just 1 second. Good question. Let's go back to files now, and we'll look at that, and we'll create a new shared folder. Again, the same concept with shared folder, but this time, instead of selecting a circle, that default circle, all clients, I will look for the paid traffic clients circle. And now when I name this folder and go and add files to it, only the people who are in this circle will have access to it. So this circle can contain 2, 5, 10, 100 different clients. You set this circle affiliation using manually if you need to do that, but more often we're going to always recommend that you do it by some automation. Typically the most common way, here's the segue. Everybody watching for the segue? Typically the most common way is a kickoff form, which is exactly how you'll connect your GoDaddy website with that's an initial interest form, what we call a kickoff form, Beverly. So now segue complete. All right, let's go to kickoff forms. Sorry, guys, I have to have fun whenever I'm doing something, or else it's just kind of not worth it. Might as well have a little fun, right? All right, let's go to forms. All right. Kickoff form. A kickoff form in our world is kicking off a new process, a new client, or any kind of automation or assignment. So kickoff is just the perfect name for it. It can be embedded on any web page or any web element, or it can function as a standalone landing page, depending on, and you build it however you need it to look. Okay. So as an example, this is always a good example. If I go to here, oh, actually here, have it open now. This, what you're looking at here, and I need to check this. I think I made a mistake here somehow. Anyway, it looks much nicer than this normally. It has that smooth border radius, so I'll check this. But this is a kickoff form. What you're looking at here is a kickoff form. Notice the custom URL and what we call a friendly URL or friendly slug. And let's look at it together. So if I go into this kickoff form, I can now create any number of fields, custom fields, default fields, whatever. I collect whatever information I want. And I can use custom fields for projects. I can use what we call a choice block. I can get a signature. I can demand a CAPTCHA to keep the bots out. And then below, what I can do is now I can set up all the assignments and actions that will happen every time the form is submitted. Okay. And what does that mean? The person on the other side of the form, typically, in most cases, in a kickoff form, is non-logged, meaning they're just a random person on the internet. They hit your website or your landing page. We don't know anything about them yet. They are what's called unknown, and we call these people targets. Okay. So the other side of your automation or your process, we call them targets as a generic term. You see here, there's settings for unknown targets. This means that when the form is submitted, we don't recognize the email address. That's our point of reference. We've never seen this email address before. Therefore, this person is an unknown target. That means we, in this case, we'll assign them the role of client. We'll set their coordinator to max. We'll put them into the website prospect circle. And any of the other assignments or automations that are listed here can be triggered, can be kicked off when this form is submitted. And each one specifically is assigned, or the automation is targeted to that specific target. Now, if we have seen the email address, we have another section down here, and all this requires a lot more explanation. I can't get into it every little piece and part. If we have seen the email address, you have a whole nother set of instructions here in case that you want to treat, you want to handle those returning customers for a specific process in a different way. Okay. So all of this is here for you. There's a lot to learn here, because this is the sort of first level of your portal, of your workflow, excuse me. So I have this diagram, which comes in handy quite a bit, actually. So here's your target, right? They enter on your kickoff form, and this kickoff form is the beginning where we set them into what we call an automation slide. So your goal here is to kick off your workflow and get them 2 or 3 levels down in your funnel immediately. Now, quickly here, and then I'll get to TJ's question. Let's go to link embed, and I'll illustrate some of the other possibilities, because this is what Beverly was asking about. So Beverly, here, once you have your form ready, and this one you can see is basically designed to be embedded because it's not set up as a standalone. There's a few different themes here, and this one has some custom CSS, I'm thinking, around this email. So there's some things here that we could work on, and you can use all of these settings down here to do that. Yep, here's the custom CSS. You can remove border, you can have custom CSS. All of this we let you specify on this side, because when this is delivered, it will fit exactly as you need it. And here's your embed code, Beverly. And then here is your direct link. Now notice this is not a pretty link, what we call a pretty link, but down here you could say, okay, this one is for new website prospect, or whatever you wanted to call it. Website sign up, if you want to make it more friendly for your audience. You're going to click create, and look at this beautiful URL now you have that you can drop in an email signature. You can drop it in any post that you make on social. It doesn't matter. And this is how this, for example, is provided. See the custom URL and the friendly URL at the end. And this one was built with custom CSS and a background and a card and an HTML block and all the things that are needed to make this kickoff form appear as a landing page. And that's why this looks like this, and the other one looks like it's meant to be embedded. So you have two different options there. Okay. Okay. There's a lot more here. I will probably move away from this now, but I think it's pretty clear that the kickoff form is sort of that first interaction that you would embed on your GoDaddy website, Beverly. And there's other places like, for example, some of this stuff I haven't visited in a while, so I'm not 100% sure what we'll find or if they've been rebuilt. There's forms embedded somewhere. Yeah, here. Okay, so this is a kickoff form embedded on a website. And see, it's set so that the button was configured. This button was configured on the SuiteDash side to match the colors of your website. Because in technical terms, this is in an iframe, and this is not going to automatically match your website. That's why we give you the tools on this side to do so. This is a quick switcher that lets you click to other kickoff forms very quickly. Yeah. I think I was looking for that other form and I didn't find it. Okay. So TJ, question. When a client fills out the form and it generates a document, can that document be sent to staff to update information prior to placement in a folder? Yes. Let me clarify a few things that you're asking, TJ. When you say a document, I think what you're probably generically referring to as a PDF. So client private folder. Okay. So yes, we do generate a PDF from form submissions. It's a generic layout because, of course, we have no idea what your data is going to look like. If you ask for custom fields, for example, it could be a paragraph of information. It could be one line. It could be one word. It could be one number. We don't know. So what we do is give you a generic PDF, which is a 2-column data set, essentially. What you can do, though, I want to be clear about this. When you talk about PDFs, this is where I need to be clear about what you mean with documents, okay? But what you can do is use a document template and create your own PDF framework or layout, and then use the dynamic data placeholders associated with the data that you're going to collect in the form. And then you tell the form, take the data that you collect here and merge it with the document template that I created for this specific purpose. And that will generate a document that contains the data in the format that I specified. I think that I said that just about. Okay, good. I heard it exactly like I wanted to say it. I think it came through. So this is where you'll do that. This is where the document happens. Okay, good question, TJ. We're moving there. So this is where you do the document template. This is where you create that framework and you create those dynamic placeholders, etc. In the form, that's where you're going to specify which document template. And I believe that we still have the task in process that will allow you to customize. Okay, well, gotcha. It will allow you to customize where it gets delivered. Now, by default, where it gets delivered, I think is actually pretty good. So let's look at that. But here's where you specify the document template. Okay, and you can even, in the title of the document, you can specify these placeholders so that every document that gets generated has a unique name. By default, that document is going to be delivered into the client's private files under submitted by client. Okay, so let's go to when I say client, I'm sorry, I'm stuck in a little bit old nomenclature. Typically, it's going to be a company or a contact, depending on what your target, what form they're in. Let's go to company because that's also something that needs to be discussed here. Because it's submitted by company, and any forms, your PDFs are going to be in here. They're going to be generated and automatically placed here. That way, they're specifically in the place to the client, the target, that submitted them. And this is the default. Now, we do have a task where we will allow you to customize where it gets delivered. But I'm just curious now that we're on this conversation, TJ, what kind of place would you like it to be delivered? Are you looking to deliver it to a client-specific destination or a generic destination? Do you want your staff to retrieve them where? I think that's what you're asking. Delivered to staff, how? Okay, but delivered to staff, how? And where will they go to retrieve it? Gotcha. Well, would it be okay if your staff was instructed to go to the here and here and here and here to find it? So that's kind of a, is that acceptable to your process kind of thing? The alternative is really going to be not much different, meaning, they're going to have to drill into some folder, subfolder that's specific to the client. Yeah, the client won't see it. So submitted by company or submitted by contact, they don't see this. The only ones that your client will see here is shared with, files shared with this company. If you put it in here, they'll definitely see it. Uploaded comes from them. So, of course, they see that because they probably uploaded them. But the submitteds do not, they're not visible on the client side, on the contact or company side, on the target side. And private are definitely not visible on the target side. So that would be, I think, the solution. Yes. Good. Okay. I was going to go there. You reminded me. So that's one thing. They can go there to see this document as it's originally submitted. Or in your case, I think what you might actually be interested in is just sending an email here, just creating an additional email notification to a specific circle or team in your, not circle, but a team. Right. And you are actually now notifying them, hey, this person submitted. And you can use placeholders here. See the placeholders you can use? You can use placeholders for any of the data that gets submitted so that you can actually build a little dynamic content area that on each email that gets sent out, they would be able to see, Mike Lambert submitted this, and here's the data that was submitted in black and white in the email. And look, you can even attach the form submission PDF right here. So they'll have the initial data. Okay, so that's good. There may be also an automation you can kick off here that would work for you, like a project. I think that's a little overkill. To-do list might be something that's coming soon that would be helpful to you. But I think the email is probably all you need now. And then you're going to go to forms, and you're going to use what we call update forms. Okay. Now, before I get here, I want to just be really clear about a powerful feature here that we call staff submit. All right. And that's what you're really looking for. So for any of these forms, you have a staff submit option, which lets you pretend that you're on the other side of this equation, and you are the target. So or your staff. So they can click staff submit, and then they can submit this kickoff form. Now, typically, when this is the case, you're going to design this specifically for your staff. Good example is a person that answers the phones for you. Okay. So someone answers the phone. Tell me, TJ, home title. That's you, I think. Doc log, right? Okay, so home title lock, setting up best flow to get document form. So let's say someone answers your phone. Okay, you create a. This is a bad example of the one I did before, but let's say submit. Okay, this will work. You make it prettier, you add more fields, but you design this specifically. It has a static URL that you can let your phone person now just guide the way that they collect information. What's awesome about this is not only this is this form that guides the information collection, but when they click the button, all this you can control all the mechanisms that happen, all the assignments. So basically you can kick off an entire automation set of options immediately from your staff answering the phone and submitting the form with the data. That's pretty powerful, right? Instead of hanging up, having all the data written down or sketched on a note or whatever, suddenly it's already all in your software and it's already like down the road 50 miles. Maybe some documents been generated and some other things started. So just keep that in mind. Okay. The staff submit is a great way to get going super fast, even in phone intake scenarios. Okay. But what you want is an update form. So with an update form, you can do staff submit as well. So let's just say your staff receives that email of the initial submission of the kickoff form. The update form you build to your specs separately. It's a different form completely. It maybe has additional. Let me go here to see if I might have a better example. Additional fields that update. Let's try this one. Additional fields that you need to collect or modify based on how that second process goes. Well, what you can do is in any one of these, you can say pre-fill value. Okay. And if when you do pre-fill value, it says if blank, it will show the existing data. So in the case that this field was part of the kickoff form initially and was completed by the client and data was entered, then when you staff submit this form and look at it and this is selected and this is blank as it says, it will show the data in the field to your staff. So basically they will see it in the field. It'll already be pre-populated. And if they submit the form with the pre-population, then it stays the same, or they can change it. And they can change it, and that would change it inside the target's data set. And additionally, you can modify in the update form. You can set up a completely different set of automations, including generating a document. So let's say in this form, you wanted to trigger the automations and you wanted to update or generate a document from a document template. So you could do that here as well. So I think that's how it would work in your case. Document. Yeah, generate document. And you can choose from your templates right here. Same dynamic naming here. And now the PDF will be filed in the same way. And you have your PDF that was reviewed and modified as needed by your staff. I think so. Yeah, I think that's pretty much right. What you're after here. Can I send the client document to the staff? I need my staff to add more data to the client document. Yes, that's possible by what I said, what we just went through. To do that, you would create the update form with additional fields that were not available on the kickoff form. They're custom fields. They're in the system, but they didn't exist on the kickoff form. But they do exist on the update form, and only your staff is going to, and you have your workflow set up so that your staff is the one that gets to do that update form. You can create as many forms as you want, create as many workflows as you want, set them up in whatever way you need. It's really just designing around your workflow. Yeah. And this question, can I send the client document to, I can I send the client document to send to staff for the update. You want to send, okay, let me break that down. Can you want to send the client the document and then they send it to the staff? I'm trying to interpret. I know we're all typing fast. It's easy for me. I'm talking. You get to type. You take the client data, got it, in the kickoff form. And then it goes to your staff. Then I build a new title. So I need to get tax info and other information. And that's going to come from your staff. They're going to research that. Yep. Okay. So that can work. That can work in the way that we've discussed. Like, say, this update form, you're gonna say, this is where the tax info and other info would be, the custom fields will be presented, not to your client, but available to your staff for using the staff submit option. And then when they have the information, they'll navigate to staff submit, select the correct client, and enter the information. The client will have never seen that form, only your staff, if you set up the workflow in the way that I'm describing. Yeah. Just here, staff submit. And they can get to it from the CRM CRM dashboard as well for the specific client. Yes, exactly. Here. On update forms, yes. The difference between kickoff forms and update forms is that we actually know we know the client in every case in a update form. We have identified specifically the person, and that's what allows us to present the data to them from their profile optionally. It doesn't have to be that way, but yes. You don't see staff submit? Okay. I think probably, but let's just. One other polite thing to say is from any one of the what we call a CRM dashboard, which is this dashboard designed to be like a one-stop shop for working with your companies and client contacts. All the available automations are here as well. So you can generate documents. You can do any of these options here directly from here. And these are designed so that you don't really need to choose. Of course, you don't need to choose the client because we're in their dashboard. And so now each one of these actions just happen automatically to that person. So if I say send message here, it's going to just boom, I'm ready to send the message right away. The client is defined already. I'm thinking. You didn't know that about the dashboard or the staff submit? Oh, okay. Yep. And we're working on this all the time to try to make it as, include as many of the options here as possible. Direct automation. Yeah, exactly. You can add and remove from circles directly from here. See how if I just X there, that removes them from the circle. I can add them to any circle directly from here. I can create appointments, events, everything from here. So it's designed to be kind of a one-stop, hopefully, as the more and more we work here to make this a very efficient way. And coming soon is a universal search that'll help you get to these dashboards even faster. And then if you click here, it's just as simple as soon as that's one click, and I'm just searching for the next person, and I can easily switch, and it switches me directly to their dashboard. So from the CRM standpoint of the platform, this is super powerful. And not only that it gives you direct access to the CRM and all the data that's been selected or collected for this particular contact or company, But also, not only, but also you'll have these access to all the notes, events, anything, the files you can navigate directly from here. In your case, TJ, right? Here's submitted by contact right here. So these PDFs that we were talking about, they can be accessed directly inside the client profile. Then you can switch to another one. So it can be as easy as this, right? And then boom, you have your PDF and all of these other options as well, right? And you can set, if you have one that you use more than others, you can say upload files, for example, you can favorite it and then just drag it to the top. And now it will always be at the top, the first one that so you don't have to go looking for it. So there's a lot of cool options here. Okay, let's see if we can jump to other questions. And if you have more questions, TJ, just keep them coming. I'm happy to answer them. Just want to make sure everybody gets a chance. I see Jasmine is here. Okay. Jasmine, you have questions? You says you have a list of questions, possibly from your team. So throw those in. I see that. Beverly, is it possible to track referrals which contain multiple companies, brokerages, and contacts, agents? I'm thinking about how to break that question down so I can fully understand it before I answer, Beverly. You want to track referrals, meaning somebody who's referring business to you. And I'm not sure what you mean when you say which contain multiple companies and contacts. You mean multiple people, like some kind of like I don't know. Yeah, maybe you can help me. The first part I think is clear. You want to track referrals and you want to monetarily reward them. You want to do something like that. So we do have a mechanism that allows for this, but it depends on exactly what you're looking to enable. Yeah. You could. Yep, you could do that. You would need to have, each person would need to be in your system, Beverly. Each person that you need to track. Typically, the best way to do this is going to be as a salesperson. So if you say have 100 people out there that are referring business to you, my recommendation would be to set them up, each one of them as a salesperson in your agent to agent referrals, then track deal through closing. Agent to agent referrals. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, it's not, I understand what you mean. This is sort of what I mean when the real estate business is bespoke in the sense that, you know, it has sort of standard ways of doing things, and I'm not sure that you might be better served in some cases to look for sort of niche specific software for something like that. I don't know, but I can show you. If you went through the salesperson route, each person that came to you as an agent for the referral, you added them as a salesperson. We do have a mechanism that and track the deal through closing. Yeah. We have what a mechanism called custom field math that would allow you to attribute some value either through like a points valuation system, which some people use for leaderboard / gaming functionality. Or you can attribute monetary value. But essentially, you're just tracking a number, whether that's a dollar number or a points number. Really the same thing in the end. It's just money. It's just numbers, excuse me. So we have a mechanism that will allow you to track that through a custom field and use math to update that based on and use automations to trigger those updates. So in the case of like a deal, it's just hard to say. It's hard to say, Beverly, without, I don't think that in the time we have left in the medium that we're communicating in, that I can give you a hard yes. But I do think, just from what I'm hearing, that using custom field math would more than likely get you the result you're after. Whether it is somewhat of it's not built specifically for your use case, right? So it's not saying, okay, what's the other agent's name? How much commission are you going to share with them? And then everything happens behind the scenes in the way that you don't have to sort of configure it. I'll show you just quickly, and I think yeah, there you go. And I'm not suggesting that in any way that's what you need. This thing is cool the way it works. Let me show you. I love this. And so if you use like a number placeholder custom, you need to use a number custom field. Let me find the right one. I think there's one here. Because this will only work with number custom fields. Number, not that. Let's try this. Yeah, okay, good. So here is, this will only show up for custom field, number type custom fields. So the math can be used here. And the trick is this current value. So you can start this equation with current value, plus, if it's a point system, you can say if this closes, it's plus, 1, for example. So it'll constantly add 1, 1, 1 to every time. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, as you can see how it goes. If you're doing it with estimates and invoices, we have another math equation or math placeholders for the payment amount of the invoice. Or if you're wanting to track just estimates that are approved and pay out on that, or give credit for that, you can do that with estimate total. But essentially, you can create mechanisms that can give like, okay, current value plus the amount of the payment times 25%. And that would that equation would keep a running value of what this person has referred to you as far as real payments that were made to you, 25% of those payments. And it'll just keep adding, doing math of 25% times this payment plus the current, whatever the current value is. That changes the current value. The next time it calls the current value at that moment and adds 25%, whatever that payment is. That changes the value. And you can see how it just keeps going up and up. So this provides a really flexible way for anyone to create whatever kind of tracking methodology they're trying to enable, whether again it be points or some kind of bonus system or some kind of actual tracking of actual commission. So there's a lot of powerful tools here. In cases like yours, just it takes a little bit of brainstorming and thinking, but I'm happy to go through that with you as much as we're able to in this short time. If you are a VIP, if you have the VIP power up, there are live support sessions throughout the week that are available to you as well. I'd also encourage you guys, if you just want to one-on-one with someone and brainstorm questions, we provide these wizarding sessions that are really, really valuable. We provide them at cost, and we even provide them as bonus sign-up incentives in some cases. But we provide them at cost. There's no money made on our side on these wizarding sessions. And the concept is to give you someone that you can really one-on-one with and talk to for an hour and brainstorm out your ideas, make a strategy, really get directed, or you just understand, is this possible going this direction, or should I go this other direction? And once you have the direction and really kind of a framework, then you can, bite down on it and make it yourself or with your staff We also have the agency partner program. If you're looking for someone to just help you long term, on an hourly basis, that's also available. But most of the time, you can put these things together on your own with a little bit of experimentation and just kind of deciding what can work, right? Okay. All right, guys, we're coming to the end of time. Thank you for your participation. Great questions this time. And hopefully we were able to help turn on some light bulbs and get you guys a little further down the road. You're welcome to come back anytime. Is there a test for the payment? Well, you have what gateway do you have, TJ? You can use most gateways are like Stripe, for example, will provide you with sandbox credentials, and that's the best way. That's the foolproof way, because then you connect your gateway with your sandbox, your test credentials. You see everything passed, and on their side, it gives you like all the reports, and you're in test mode. Everything looks just right. All the data is passed exactly the same. And then when you switch out for the live credentials, then there's no change except for they're actually processing the money. That's the way that we offer. Yeah. Yeah, because we don't process your payments. What we basically do is provide the API credentials or whatever connection and the gateways offer. And the gateways will always, in fact, our system never sees a credit card number. It's entered in the browser by your client or by you or whoever enters it in the browser. It's encrypted immediately as soon as that is submitted. So it's encrypted immediately by the browser, transferred by HTTPS protocol, SSL, straight to Stripe, straight to Braintree, or whoever you're providing your great gateway, goes into their vaults, is encrypted immediately there. Then they send us back what's called a token, and we put that token in our database. And all that is a reference. And whenever we need to charge that card again, we just send them the token and say, hey, can I get $50 off this card? And they go check, do their transaction on their side and give us a message back. Okay, great. $50 is done. Here's your confirmation, all that. So, that's all PCI compliance talk, broken down into very simple terms. But essentially, no credit card information is ever kept. We don't provide. So the best thing we can do is give you a process that replicates that real process in the best possible way, which is let's use the test credentials that are provided by the gateway. I see you have webhooks. Is that API to post and get all the features to forms or direct to CRM? No, you can't. So here's what the API. I see where you're going there. So let me give you the best explanation. The API, as with all APIs, is a way to directly modify the data in the database. Essentially, webhooks is the reverse of that. It's let's not get that. I'll get to that in a minute. But what it can't do, an API will not do, is replicate the features and functionality of a form, for example, because there's so many dependencies built into that. Right. So an API is like you're shooting data down a pipe, but there's so many dependencies and left turns, right turns, and all these things like, oh, show this person this because A, or not, don't show them because of B. You can't build that into an API. Zapier does a pretty good job of doing that, but it's also has a lot of limitations as well. So essentially, the answer is no, you can't replicate forms, but you can create a new company, a new contact. You can modify their data. You can pull data from the company or contact. All that can happen, and of course, it's very useful, especially if you need to enable a third application or an outside application that you run, and maybe you process data there and then you replicate it over here. Yeah. So that's an API is super helpful in that sense. And then webhooks, to complete the explanation, is essentially when an action happens in our platform. The most here's a at my fingertips is the webhook notification here. When an action happens in our platform, you give us the destination URL, which means we're going to post, or that's web terms for send. We're going to send the data in this JSON format to this destination where you have a listener programmatically listening for data. You have programmed this listener to take this data in this specific format and write it into your database on that side. So the webhook is like it's like a cannon of data that is triggered by some trigger or some action in the platform. In this case, all these automations will be triggered on the payment of this invoice. Right. So that's what this is going to tell you down here. Trigger automations when this invoice is paid. And in this case, in full. Now, if you allow partial payments, you'll notice that each partial payment, each installment will have its own automations. So you can even set up in automations based on installments only. Yeah. Okay. I think this helps. Again, these are complicated subjects, and I won't be able to close the door. A webhook cannot receive back information. That's by API. So the webhook will send the information. Then your side, your protocol, your application will send data to our API. Yes, so it can receive, SuiteDash can receive information via the API. So if you go to integrations, you'll have a tab that says Secure API. This will give you the live documentation link. So notice how even your live documentation link is white labeled. So you can take this URL, pass it to a developer or whoever is doing this work for you. And all the documentation is here on what you can do. But yes, you will send the data to this endpoint. For example, on a post here, it gives you the endpoint, gives you all the examples of how to pass the data here. So you're saying, can it receive back information? Yes. And this is the way. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's an incredible platform. It's the operating system of your business if you let it be. If you want to create a layer, like Beverly, I think is a great example. It's truly, it's as close as anything out there, that's for sure. And it's accessible to anyone. It's here, and it's pre-integrated, inter-automated, white labeled. It has everything that you need, and it truly can be, as I was saying, you have your website layer, which is your brochure layer, but beneath that, now you can have this operating system of your business where you essentially, over the course of the time that you're building and running your business, you're also structuring and building this operating system, which then becomes essentially your business. It's a machine that operates your business, that is tweaked and layered and modified as you notice a new need or a new change. You go in and modify it. And this work that you're putting in is actually the right place for you to be working as a business owner. They say you should not be working in your business. You should be working on your business, right? And so what that means as a business owner, and if you haven't already, you should read the E-Myth, which is a famous book that is credited for this initial idea. I'm sure it was around a long time before that, but E-Myth is sort of the first one 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Your job as a business owner is to develop these processes so that you can step away from them in every place possible. And that's what SuiteDash is designed to do for you, is give you the tools that typically have been sort of out of range for a small business because of the cost of automation, the complexity, the integrating multiple platforms, all these toolkits that speak to each other in the background that are disparate and all over the place. Now you have it all in one place where you can consolidate all those things, connect them easily, and understand, have you, your staff, your clients, everyone operating and interacting in a single platform that's white labeled completely to your business. You don't see any mention of SuiteDash here. And in fact, even if you looked in the source code, you would not find the word SuiteDash. So, when we take your hard-earned revenue and put it towards this platform, we don't try to also advertise to your clients. We say, oh, well, you're paying us for what we do, and this is what we do. And now you get the product that you paid for without having our name attached to it, unless you pay us the highest rate, which you'll notice like every pricing plan that you go to, except for ours, I think, they want to stick their logo everywhere unless you pay for their highest plan. We don't do that. We give that to you that's a feature for us. A feature, white label, we call it extreme white label. So we go overboard into the edge of neurotic behavior to provide you with. And in fact, even the documentation is white labeled, right? So I think it's not turned on here. Yeah, here. So even if you resell the platform to someone and they open the documentation, which is, basically is customized to which page it's on, there's not even SuiteDash in here. It's all just very generic. There's no logos. It's we obsess over this for you. All right. Okay. Thanks, everyone. I think that's it. Have a great rest of your day. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks a lot. See you later. Bye.